So some classic must-dos when you're talking with an adult. All right, just like I was telling my daughter. Number one, let's be sure to list these up here. Number one is eye contact. Making sure that you are looking people in the eye. Michaela, this is what you were talking about just a little bit ago. The person you were getting in your head was just kind of looking around. So, must-dos in an interview. Number one, eye contact. Now, this isn't like weird eye contact, okay? You don't have to lean toward them and squint a little bit. That's weird. Now you're a stalker, okay? But this is eye contact. Simply when you're talking to somebody, look at them. Look at them in the eye. It's very important for you to do that. Number two is use their name. Had a person ask me one time, do I call them by their first name? Do I say Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Smith? How does that work? What do I do? When you introduce yourself to an adult, however they introduce themselves to you is how you want to refer to them. If they don't give you a last name, they just say, my name is Bob, then you refer to them as Bob. If they say, hello, I'm Bob Smith, then you say, hello, Mr. Smith. Okay? Or Mrs. Anderson, okay, whatever their name might be. But if all they give you is a first name, then obviously that's how they want you to refer to them. So it's okay to do that, all right? Fair enough? Even if you are in an informal environment, if they introduce themselves as Bob Smith, then you always want to refer to them as Mr. Smith. Fair enough? Even if it's your best friend's dad, if you refer to them as Mr. whomever, it will go well for you. Now again, my daughter has friends that call me Clay all the time. All the time they call me Clay. However, my daughter has one friend that calls me Mr. Staires. What do you think my thoughts are about that one friend that she has?
Really respectful.
Boom, respect. Now it doesn't mean that I look at her other friends and go, they're all disrespectful. But when I see her, I say, respectful. That's a good impression. What's that?
She's probably a lot more memorable too.
Exactly. She stands out among the crowd. So that's why I'm saying, even with your buddies, it's important to you to refer to adults saying Mr. or Mrs. Okay? And using their last name. Here's a key one. Number 3. Guys, we got to smile. There's nothing worse than somebody that won't make eye contact with you and they're just shut down. You know, again, we get the Napoleon Dynamite thing going on. And not only is he not smiling, but his mouth is open, you know, type of thing. Shut your mouth. And because we've got to smile, look in somebody. So what does a smile reveal about you? When you look at somebody, you call them by name, Jessica, and you're smiling at them. What does that do?
A friendly person.
My gosh, yeah. This is a friendly person. This is somebody that I could actually connect with. But if somebody is looking down, not smiling, not using your name, barely even talking, mumbler type of thing, then this is a person that is really going to struggle connecting with other humans. Okay? And I don't know, there are jobs out there where, and I know that there are jobs out there where I don't really want this person to connect with humans. I want them to just be in front of a computer screen. So that's a whole other deal. But when you know there's going to be some customer service, when you know that you're going to be working with other humans, you've got to be able to connect with them, okay? To make that first impression. And then finally, we go to the nice handshake. Yes, we have done handshake training with my daughter. You got to do it. You can't just say shake their hand because they won't know how to do it. And catch this, my sister is married to a guy, all right, my brother-in-law, obviously. He's a state representative. They have 3 sons. So when my brother-in-law is introducing his sons to people, he's not just introducing them to anybody. He's introducing them to congressmen, to senators, governors. So, I mean, they've gone through this whole training. Here's what you do, here's how you stand, here's how you shake the hand, here's how you talk, and all this different type of stuff. And we're kind of grabbing Claire going, yeah, listen to this training type of thing. But a nice handshake. So what is a nice handshake? Here you go. Here it comes, all right? A nice handshake is hold your hand out to get their hand. When you shake their hand, it's 1, 2. That's it. A slight squeeze on the hand, not a hard squeeze, okay, especially if it's a female. But if you just put your hand in their hand and don't squeeze, it's a dead fish. Anybody ever had that thing? I hate that. All right? But a nice handshake. And if you've ever gone, catch this, if you've ever gone in for the handshake and it doesn't quite fit, they stop soon and they just shake your fingers or something like that, you know, it's weird. It's okay to say, let's try that again and go in for a handshake again. It happens to me a lot. All right? Where you go in for the handshake and it ends up being weird. I stop right there and go, okay, that was just weird. Let's try that again. Oh, that one feels good. All right, so talk to me, John, you know, and we go from there. It's okay to try that thing again if you feel like your timing was off or something like that. But a nice handshake. It's always very important to throw your hand out there. Hello, my name's Michaela. Your hand's going out with the hello, my name's Jessica. Nice, 1, 2. I learned that, actually learned. There's etiquette with handshaking. 1, 2, no more than 2. No shake isn't right. You're supposed to do 2. I don't know, check it, Google it. You're supposed to do 2 shakes with a hand, all right? So here are the 4 things that I think will set you above the crowd. It'll be huge for you. It'll just set you above the crowd. Eye contact, use their name, smile, and have a nice handshake. Catch this, 67% of bosses say that failure to make eye contact is a common mistake, a very common mistake in interviews. Also, when meeting new people, 55% of the impact comes from the way a person dresses, a way they act, and a way they walk through the front door. 55%, over half of the bosses out there are saying that's going to have an impact. How they dress, how they act, and how they walk through the door. This is all from Undercover Recruiter. All right, you can Google that. So, boom, you have just outdone 80, maybe 90% of your competition just by doing these 4 things right here. Okay, fair enough? Now, you guys might be going, oh, Clay, I already do that. Just make sure you're doing it, okay? And don't just do it sometimes, do it all the time. Anytime you are being introduced to an adult, okay? When I say an adult, it's an adult with a job. And the reason why I'm saying it may even be just with anybody with a job that you're doing this, but primarily an adult with a job, because the idea here is that adults with jobs are going to be doorkeepers for you. They can open up things for you. So, first impression doesn't just start at the interview. So before the interview, when you interact with the company, be sure to find out the name of the person. So, before the interview begins, when you are talking to them on the phone, or if you are doing, by chance, if you're doing an email or something like that, and interacting with them, you want to find out who the heck you're talking to. So what's your name? You guys, I do that all the time. It's just part of my nature right now. Went out to eat last night at a restaurant. So, what's your name? My name's Allie. All right, Allie, well, here's what I think we're going to have for dinner tonight. Allie, I think we're going to have this. And Allie, thank you so much for this. Allie, can I have some more water? Allie this, Allie that. Okay? Using people's names. What do you think using somebody's name is going to do for me?
A better first impression.
Very good. A better first impression. Using somebody's name draws them to me. Okay? Did you know that everyone, studies have shown this, I forget the reference right now, but studies have shown that everybody's favorite word is their name. Everybody's favorite word is their name. So, the more I can use their name, the more that I'm going to draw that person toward me. So anytime that I'm communicating with somebody at a potential job, I want to find out who I'm talking with and I want to use their name. So what's your name? My name's Jessica. Oh, Jessica. Okay, yeah, well, I was very interested. I heard about the job opening there. So Jessica, who is it that I need to speak with? Are you the one? Okay, cool. Jessica, if you could send that to me, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. Jessica, have a great day. Look forward to meeting you in the future. Use that name. Again, don't be weird with it. Hi, Jessica. How are you, Jessica? Thank you, Jessica. I mean, now we're awkward. All right, this person's like a little wound up. But you want to find out their name. If they're older than you, like I said, you want to, and if they give you their first and last name, you want to use that Mr. or Mrs. comment. Let's see here. People love to hear their name. Now, once we get into the interview, I have a list here of 7 different things that we want to take a look at. 7 different things when we walk into an interview to make sure that your first impression is knocking it out of the park. Again, the whole thing with this session is to be a rock star employee. I think I've mentioned to you guys that I have personally coached 8 people through this process, okay? Whether they were in high school or whether they were in college or whether they were coming out of college and moving into the workforce. I've coached 8 people through this process, and all 8 people got offers from every company that they applied to. Not just one, but every place they applied to. In fact, half of them, 4 of them, got the job before they even got to the interview. It was that good. Okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about how to set yourself up for that. So you don't even interview anymore. You just get the job because you're Jessica. All right? Because of that impression that you have given to people. Okay? So here we go. At the interview, be sure to dress appropriately. Makes sense. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean to dress appropriately? Well, believe it or not, the interviewer will make that decision. Remember, the first 90 seconds. In the first 90 seconds. So we want to make sure that we are dressed appropriately. I told you guys, I made it in a split second when a guy walked in shorts. Yep, it's not going to work. I remember even doing a group interview with Gaetanos, okay? And had several people come to the interview. In the first 5 seconds, I had already discounted half the group. Again, just because of the way they came. Flip-flops, t-shirts, dirty, hats. It's like, not the best thing to wear to an interview. Okay, so we just want to be careful and not do those things. So we can make sure that those decisions are favorable from the very beginning and throughout the interview if we do these things. So number 1, in the interview, we want to make sure that we are on time. I have several clients here in the Tulsa area where I have done group interviews for them. And they will have like 50 people show up one time. And this isn't just a bunch of high school or a bunch of college students. These are professionals. These are engineers. These are coders. These are technology folks. I mean, these are people that are like looking for jobs at $120,000, $150,000 a year. These are like full on, I mean, these are serious interviews. And we do group interviews. There will be 75 people, 50 people that will turn in their application, turn in their resume. Yeah, I'm planning on being that group interview. All right? Of those 50 people, I am assured that 25 of them will show up. The other 25 won't. They just won't show. They said they were, but they won't. It's fine with me. They're gone. I don't have to worry about them. Of the 25 that do show up, there's about half of them that will be late. These are the statistics that we're finding. So I got 50 applications. Oh my gosh, how am I going to look at all these 50 applications? You're not. You're just going to call them into one room. You're going to find that half of them won't even come. So now you're down to 25. Hey, that makes it a whole lot easier, Jessica, you know? And then of that 25, half of them will be late. If they show up late for the interview, then you know that they're going to be showing up late to work. And they'll probably have a great excuse. Oh, I couldn't find the place. Oh, there's traffic. Oh, you know, there was like this dog that came out of the thing and jumped in the car and grabbed and, you know, got the thing. And it's just, I don't want this drama. I don't want to hear it. You're late. I don't even consider them. They are sitting there in the interview, but they're not even in the running anymore. Does that make sense? So now I'm down to about 10, 11 people that I'm actually looking at out of 50. And then from there, they will tell me. Next thing you know, this person doesn't make eye contact. Out of here. This person doesn't know how to smile. See ya. This person didn't dress right. Bam, out. So from the 50 people, guys, these are the statistics that we're finding, okay? Of the 50 people that actually apply, about 5 of them actually have a chance. About 5 of them will actually make it to the next step of actually doing an interview with them. That's why our group interviews only last about 30 minutes. Okay? I'm not interested in talking to everybody and all that kind of stuff. It's just name, where do you work? Okay, let's move on. Does that make sense? So we want to make sure that we're on time, or you can get kicked out of the running really, really quick. Number 2, as we said, we want to make sure that we dress appropriately. Now again, I know that you are sitting here going, Well, that's silly. Of course you're going to dress appropriately. All right? You might be watching on the video. Well, that's stupid. Of course you're going to dress appropriately. But you guys, you wouldn't believe how many people don't dress appropriately. I mean, so much so that every single one of the clients that I have across the country are struggling with this. Well, what is up with people? Like I said, I had it last week with a guy. Came in a pair of shorts and flip-flops. You're 57 years old, sir. I'm thinking you need to come in a little bit more prepared. But the thing was, okay, I will toss this out. The thing was, is that the job where he had been for a long, long time had been a school teacher. Okay? How many school teachers do you guys have that come to work in a tie each day? Not very many. I was a school teacher for 15 years. It wasn't uncommon for me to be in shorts, sweatshirt, flip-flops. You know, it's just, unfortunately, it's kind of where I went because that's where everybody else was. And then this former teacher came to look for a professional job in the marketplace outside of the education world. He didn't know how to dress and just immediately kicked out. Does that make sense? So again, kind of that student mindset, that academic mindset, coming over here into the professional white-collar mindset is a change for us. Number 3, body language. And maybe I should say here too, on the dressing appropriately, how do I know what's appropriately? How do you do that, Ruben? How do you find out what is appropriate dress? I'm going for the swimming pool. I'm getting a job as a lifeguard at the pool this summer. How do I dress appropriately? What does that look like?
Find out their dress code.
Pardon me?
Find out their dress code.
Beautiful. Find out their dress code.
I was always told that you're supposed to dress one class above the dress code.
Beautiful. All right, see, you've been trained. That's good. Yeah, you want to find out what their normal is, and you want to take it up one step. Okay? Now, to wear a suit, to wear a tie, Ruben, to the swimming pool to get a job as a lifeguard might be a little much. Okay? But wearing some slacks and a collared polo or something like that fits perfect. But showing up in a tank top and your own swimming suit, you know, and your flip-flops, you know, making the noise as you're coming in and a hat on and stuff like that, that's just not a good way to go. I used to be the director of a swim and tennis center here in Tulsa. And so I interviewed people all the time, college students, high school students, to come in for the summer and be lifeguards. And I will let you know, within the 90 seconds, I would make my decisions, just based on first impression when people would come in. Because yes, there would be people who come in and it looked like they just got off the lawnmower. All right, as they'd walk in, they'd be dirty, and they'd be, yeah, I'm here for a lifeguard job. It's like, it's not going to work. As opposed to other people that would come in and they would look sharp. They would dress appropriately. Makes a huge difference. Again, it's silly. I talk with other business owners about this. All of us in our head, we're going, what? Why do we even have to have this conversation? But we continue to have the conversation. So I want you to know, if you're watching this, when you go in for the interview, pay attention to what the heck you look like, all right? You got to clean up for these things or else you won't be in the running for the job. Next of all, number 4, this is the communication style. And best thing for you to do with communication style is simply just try to mirror whatever the style is of the interviewer. If the interviewer is a relaxed, slow talker, okay, then it's okay to go with that. If the interviewer is a real fast talker, all right, then it's okay to mirror that. You just don't want to be too much opposite from the interviewer on the way you're communicating with people. All right, obviously, I just thought of this. Okay, a little tidbit here, a little asterisk. Don't chew gum in an interview. Okay, Michaela? Don't chew gum. Get rid of the gum. If you have to swallow it. It'll come out later, okay? But don't be chewing gum in the midst of an interview. Next of all, we want to be prepared. Be prepared. When we're talking about being prepared here, we're saying have a great understanding, have a general understanding, I guess, of who the company is and what they do. Have a little understanding of their core value, a little understanding of what their vision is and what their mission is, what they're trying to accomplish at the company. It is very impressive when somebody tells me that I am interviewing, when somebody tells me, so Clay, I see that you used to be a school teacher up in Kansas City. It's like, yes, I did. It's like, oh, this person has actually taken the time to research. They've actually taken the time to find out a little bit about me. If, Reuben, you have taken the time to do that just for the interview, you might actually have enough energy to take the time to do the right thing when I hire you onto the job. Does that make sense? As opposed to, well, you didn't tell me to go research the company. Beautiful. Now, when you come to work for me, if I don't tell you every single thing to do, you're not going to think to do it. So we want to find out some general information. Be prepared to tell stories about how you and your core values and your life stories align with the core values of the company. Man, I just really appreciate that your core value here at Gaetano's Pizza is to be respectful. Because, man, this is something that my parents have worked into me since I've been a little kid about being respectful, being respectful. And I remember having to learn that lesson. It was a hard lesson. One time I spat it off to Mom and, ooh, did not go well, you know. So I've had to learn that lesson. So I'm glad that you guys had that as a core value because it's something that I've grown up in. Oh, thank you, Jessica. It's really sweet. She might fit here. All right? As opposed to Reuben, who shows up in a pair of shorts and who slouches in his chair. He's got a hat on. He goes, yeah, I love respect. It's like, no, you don't. Does that make sense? So where we're coming from on that. Next of all, be energetic. Okay? Now, this doesn't mean be annoying. Hi! You don't have to like go psycho here. Here's just a little thing that I encourage people to do in interviews. All right? Sit on the edge of your seat. Sit on the edge of your chair and lean slightly forward. That shows the person that you are ready, you're prepared, you're like on the move. It gives an impression that there's energy, as opposed to sitting back in the chair, kicking the arms out, maybe crossing the legs, kind of slouching a little bit. Just go ahead and sit on the edge of your chair, because as you sit on the edge of the chair, it'll cause you to stand up straight. So just a little tidbit for you. When you're interviewing for a job, sit on the edge. Be energetic. That's number 6. Energetic. And then finally here, number 7, all right? You want to be sure to know what your qualifications are. Know your qualifications. And in other words, you want to know what the heck you're capable of and what you're not capable of when you go into an interview. Because we're going to ask some questions. I've got some questions that we talked a little bit about this in the last session. I have some questions that I want to show you, okay? I want to tell you about that. These are great questions to have. And you need to know who you are and what your skills are, so when you ask these questions, you'll know if it's going to be a good fit for you. But you just need to know, as we say here, looking good and talking good are great, but can you actually do the job? Got to be able to do the job, so you need to know your qualifications as you come in. You'll need to be able to communicate your skills and your awards, your accomplishments, things that you've done in the past in a competent way. Another statistic here, 65% of bosses indicate that clothes could be the deciding factor on 2 candidates that are head-to-head. One just looked better. It's that quick. 65%. It's almost 7 out of 10 say that. Clothes are going to make a difference. So, my gosh, it's going to be so hard to get a job. Guys, it's not hard to get a job. I'll let you know, everybody's hiring. Everybody's hiring all the time. Everybody's looking for a great employee. I promise you, if you're out there right now and you own a company, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right? Everybody's always hiring because everybody has low-performing employees. And if they could replace their low performers, they would do it in a heartbeat. So you just need to be the person that is able to represent yourself well and able to show that you can represent a company well.